it's because I did the what was the other one? Hold on. I
Your
used
build looks
Intel for
great.
like a long time, so I'm just giving the AMD just like a solid try, just to see how it goes.
It's a big
Obviously,
layout just to give it a go.
Yeah, there's not a big difference between AMD and Intel, you know. But
Just shut up now, Ben.
what? There isn't.
I just want to try it, okay?
Curry's man.
I mean, like I said, it's.
Grub, you've admitted it before.
I'm
There isn't.
building a computer, so I can always change it up. I mean, I'm not like that's going to.
Yeah, but you'd
Curry
have to
and
change it a
buying
lot.
one that's
You'd
already
have-
made.
I can say you got to strip your motherboard out, haven't you?
Yeah, you've got to change.
Have you seen those 3 links I posted?
It's going to be a big payout if you don't like it.
Nah, you'll be fine.
Yeah,
You'll be alright. It
There-
just won't be as
there isn't a
good as it
massive
could have been.
difference.
You'll always know you got a CPU bottleneck.
He's just messing with you. There isn't really.
You should check out the links
problem.
I posted.
Look,
Let's have a look.
Captain's running
There's
AMD.
3
It's
of them.
Computer's Beast.
What are we looking at here then, Captain? Is this actually your
Yeah,
There's
build
3
or?
links there. That's the CPU I have, and then the other 2 are the coolers that I'm trying to decide between.
Yeah, I mean that the
Corsair,
H100i is like.
Yeah.
Isn't there a general consensus that going with like the 80 is to be honest not more economically? I don't know. There's some umming and ahhing about that, isn't there?
I realise I don't know much about fans, to be honest. You know.
See, oh, is this what you've actually got? Is it?
I
Captain?
have
Yeah.
the processors, yeah.
Yeah.
And I haven't been able to max it yet with encoding on, I think, fast when streaming. And
Alright.
running Borderlands 2 on max settings.
Yeah. Hmm. What's that magnesium? Can you? I'm not. I honestly don't know what you need for Gary's mod, mate.
You need one of the games that runs the source engine, like Counter-Strike, Half-Life.
Yeah. You just need
I
one
forget
of them,
the
do
other
you?
one. Portal, yeah. To get the base of the game.
I should have given
a
a copy of Portal or Portal 2 away first, then, shouldn't I? Oh well.
Oh, what did I miss?
Oh God, Jesus Christ! I've been sitting here. It's 12:15.
We were having a computer
Goodness sake.
argument.
I mean, I don't see anything wrong with AMD processors, just graphics cards.
Well, I'd go the other way, to be honest, Captain. I'd say
Yeah.
that the graphics card. I mean, the problem you've got at the moment, of course, is because of cryptocurrency. The AMD card prices are like ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's almost worked against AMD. That, to be honest.
The AMD cards, the reason I don't like them is because I've always had issues with drivers. Like,
Yes.
every AMD card I've had has been horrible. But I mean, that was like, I don't know, back in high school.
Yeah, I mean, AMD have got significantly better in terms of the window gap or the release gap between the game release and actually getting some drivers that work. But to be honest, Nvidia pretty much just money hat the devs so much to get copies of the games beforehand, so that they can get those drivers out literally in many cases before the game even bloody releases.
Yeah.
And it tends to be AMD that are kind of left catching up. But I mean, it doesn't always work like that, and I think that's changing. I mean, Tomb Raider was a classic example with Trez FX, where AMD had very clearly had the game long before Nvidia did, and Nvidia were very open about that with Crystal Dynamics. They did, you know, they very much apologised and says, yeah, this game is running like shit on our hardware. You know, we will work on drivers, but we've only just been copy of the source code for the game or whatever. Or a copy of the game, right? We don't need the source code, but yeah. To be honest, the biggest problem you've got right now is AMD for the. If you were looking at like price against performance, AMD are you know, pretty much got it wrapped up. But what's happened because of cryptocurrency and how efficient AMD cards at doing that, it's literally whacked the price up in some cases for some of the cards, like 30% on top. You know, we've got buyers who are really into like Bitcoin mining and all the rest of it, who are paying huge sums of money because they're such low power and so efficient at mining that money that, you know, they are literally worth every penny to these guys. You've got people that are buying 7, 8, 9, 10 cards at a time.
Yeah.
You know, for a home user who's possibly not even heard of cryptocurrency and has no interest in it, it's hard to wonder why the prices are so high. And you know, it's not done AMD any favors, I don't think.
I mean, they actually found a better type of processor to do Bitcoin mining. It's like ASI or something. I forget what it's called, but apparently they're way more efficient than graphics cards. But yeah, I don't know. I go AMD processor because it's, I don't know, it's more affordable, and it's, you know, all the stats are the same.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, what's it? KTC in chat. It's a good comment there. I was very excited when I saw the information about Mantle. That'll be quite interesting to see how that. I mean, again, you know, until the proof is in the pudding and the devs are supporting it, KTC, you know, who knows? But yeah, I mean, could be an interesting. Yeah, what you've got to remember as well is that the Xbox One and PS4, you know, they're all AMD based, aren't they? So
yeah, I think so.
Are the devs going to find it easier? I mean, there's no doubt it won't be as bad as last time round with the bloody cell processor and the PS3, but it'll be interesting. I think at the end of the day, I always look at it from the point of view is the competition is good for us as the end user.
Yeah. The what is it? And a lot of AMD processors have gotten their bad rap from the previous generation of technology. Yeah. Like, what was it? Like the new ones, what is it? Piledriver? I get Piledriver and Bulldozer mixed up. Whatever the one before this current generation was where they got their really bad rep from. But I don't know. Mine runs perfectly fine.
Whoa! Jesus shit! Sorry, mate. I went into a dark house. I'm just concentrating. Yeah. I think, you know, people sometimes make a bit of a mountain out of a molehill. Sort of, at the end of the day, it's like, you know, this stuff about the Xbox 360. Xbox One and PS4. You know, unless you're putting these things side by side, are you really going to notice a difference? I mean, I don't know. I can't answer that question, but you know, it's when you start talking about high-end PCs. The amount of money you've got to spend to really start seeing a significant difference is ridiculous. You know, you're talking like 120 frames per second minimum, 4K screens. I mean, you're talking mega expense. You know, triple Titans. You know, that's as hardcore as it can possibly get. And the difference between something like that and even a £2,000 computer, I don't think most people would bloody know the difference, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's a point where the amount of money you can throw at computers, you know, you get very significant diminishing returns. I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't love to own quad Titans, although I wouldn't. I'd actually have quad 780s, but there you go. Yeah. It's an expensive hobby at the top end, and I think that puts a lot of people off. I think, you know, certainly my family have always been very hesitant to get into PC gaming because they think, one, it's hard to build them, and two, that they'd have to upgrade every 12 months. And that's just so not how it works anymore.
Yeah. Like, I don't upgrade very often, but when I do, I tend to... I like to upgrade in big jumps, so I'm not, like, you know, getting, like,
that's the best way to do it.
Power. But, what was it? My brain's all thinking a million things.
Oh! Zombie hiding behind a tree. Cheeky monkey.
Most people don't even use their computers to their full potential anyway. That get that kind of stuff, you know.
No, I mean, absolutely. I mean, it's like Ben. I mean, for example, the computer he's getting, you know, he's buying an i5 4570. You know, to be honest, I mean, if you look at Haswell, I mean, Haswell was the biggest letdown of all time for me. I was really looking forward to Haswell and really going for some big upgrades on a couple of my machines, but there's just no point, you know. There really isn't of any point, you know. The amount of heat they're chucking out, you know, those sort of clocks. But I mean, even i5 3570s. I mean, it's still to me the ultimate gaming chip for a gaming rig. You know, price point on that thing is absolutely amazing. But I mean, what's coming out? What is it after Haswell? I can't remember the bloody.
I forget what it is.
They have some bloody stupid names, don't they?
I know they wanted to. Intel was talking about a while back, like I don't know how many months, but making, instead of having sockets, having motherboards just built with the CPU built in.
Yes, that's right. They were, weren't they?
But I think, I don't know what happened to that, but I think it got turned down because of the cost, I guess. I mean, it would be cheaper to make the motherboard with the CPU built.
Oh yeah, much cheaper.
And you could overclock, and you know everything would be integrated and function better. But the issue is, what if a part breaks? You know?
Yeah. No, I remember. Yeah, that was like hot news, wasn't it, for quite some time? And then yeah, like you've just said, I mean, I'd completely forgotten about it myself, to be honest. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, I must admit, I'm a sucker for a new graphics card. I mean, I bought the 780 came out, for example, and I waited because I love the Asus. You know, their custom cooling solutions for me are, you know, I love them. Just the sheer size of those heat pipes, there's something beautiful about it. I've got lovely back plates. I've never had a problem with one of them yet. So when the 780 came out, I deliberately waited for Asus to come up with their custom cooler, and lo and behold, I think it was only probably about 11, maybe 12 weeks later, they brought out the TI version. I was like, oh, fucking sons of bitches.
Yeah.
And you know, we're probably talking like 3% or 4% difference in performance, but there was still that itch, shan't I?
Yeah. I ended up getting the EVGA 660 Ti superclocked version.
Nice.
But I'm not really familiar with like temperatures on graphics cards. So like,
the 700 series, basically, you don't want it. 70 degrees is where it starts throttling. So as long as you can keep it around, well, below 70, you should be fine.
Okay. Because my
it doesn't matter if it goes over. It'll literally start throttling itself. I mean, there's ways around that. Don't get me wrong.
Because I've seen it going to 90.
All you probably need is to set up a custom fan setting.
Yeah. I need some more. I need to get a better case for cooling.
Don't forget, a lot of the problems that you'll get. Well, I shouldn't say problems, but a lot of the throttling problems is because one of the big measures of how desirable a graphics card is of course how quiet they are. So what tends to happen is, I mean, I have no issues. I've got a case that has sort of been, deliberately designed to not chuck out too much noise. I have no issues with my fans going to max. If that means keeping the temperature of the cards below 70 degrees, then so be it. I'd rather have that and have some noise. Obviously, when you're talking about people that have got setups in living rooms and things like that, then, it becomes an issue, doesn't it?
Well, my thing is, like, my cases, I have a Cooler Master Centuron 5, which is a really old case. And so things aren't in optimal places, and I don't use CD drives, and I only have 3 hard drives, so there's this whole row of like CD drive and hard drive cage that could be just completely removed to put fans in, but it's a really crappy case.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people, when they're building a case, I mean, at the end of the day, if you're a sort of a user that just wants to have a computer, then a case tends to be purely on aesthetics, doesn't it? But I must admit, if you really want to look at into overclocking and getting the absolute ultimate last drop of performance out, then the case is very, very important. And I always say that people underestimate significantly the importance of a good power supply. It's always nice when I hear that someone's got a gold rated power supply, a bit of thought's gone into it. Because again, it's an area where these manufacturers like Currys, for example, will cut corners. There are some appalling power supplies out there that I wouldn't touch with a barge pole.
I've seen people just get like Chinese knockoff power supplies that are only like 300 watts and put them in there, and they don't list it.
Yeah.
You know?
Inconsistent voltages. Yeah, I can imagine. It's just asking
Yeah.
for something very nasty to happen, isn't it?
Yeah.